as a videographer, one might just assume that when you go home at night, you shoot videos.
I do.
I didn't expect that answer.
No, I do. I do other things too. I'm actually on a thing right now. I started in November.
I have a feeling this is going to be my favorite conversation yet. Also, he doesn't know this yet, but I'm going to challenge him because this topic is in my wheelhouse, whereas all the other topics we're talking about shit that's way over my head. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Doug Hoffman, video team lead. And Doug, I would say, only knowing the industry on a national level, we are a very unique company sitting here today in early 2024, and you're still here.
Yeah, you could, there's, the industry has had a little bit of tough times lately, and if you look around it and you look at the marketing departments around all these other companies, they don't exist.
They're shells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got either like a graphic designer or, one person who's coordinating the marketing, but certainly no video. And certainly not a team as robust as ours.
I agree. It's a testament. It's a big testament. And so a video, this is actually interesting because I've been in the industry since 2000, and to think back 15 years ago and to think there was going to be a time when there was going to be videographers working for mortgage companies. I mean,
it's comical.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what I would have thought, but here we are. And so what does that mean for a mortgage company to have somebody like you?
Well, basically, I would say it just means that they're forward thinking. So they understand that the way in which you can get business through things like social media, specifically social media, it's the big one, that's what I make most of my videos for. It's the way of the future, and if you are not looking into social media and videos specifically as a way to entice or gain new clients, then you are failing at no matter what business you're in, not limited to the mortgage business.
Yeah. So you mentioned social media. There's also, email process videos, maybe website videos. What all is encompassing in videos that, and is it all sales? Is it primarily sales?
It's primarily sales, but it's not all sales because, I guess technically you could call it sales. But there's plenty of people making videos that are just about their daily life, and it's not just like, hey, this is a mortgage term or something that you might not know. And so I would say it's not sales in that it is you just talking about yourself, letting people to know who you are. But it is sales in that that's how you do sales. You let people know who you are, give them insight into who you are as a person, and then they might think, oh, this is somebody that I want to do business with.
Sure. What does that mean? So from a perspective of a loan officer, and I'm talking to loan officers that are already here at this company, or maybe a loan officer that's considering this company, or this is something that makes them consider this company. They can't just have like carte blanche and be like, Doug, I need to create all these videos. How does that work? What's the process look like?
So there's many different ways we can go about it. The cool thing that happened when I started here was I start right around 4.5, running on 5 years now. And they said, hey, we have this idea for this video program. We need somebody who knows what they're doing, who can just take it and run. And when we get an idea, we can say, hey, we need some content about this, do it. And they let me do that. So for, the first year or so, I was going in and just creating all these various videos that any loan officer might want to have. Like, a good example is like why you should buy versus rent video, things like that. And I went in and I made a whole host of these videos that can be replicated very easily with people, whether they want to be on camera, whether they don't want to be on camera. So that's the one way, that's the easy route. If you're like, I've never done video in my life, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm like, hey, I got you a script, we got the studio, we're good to go. The other way is, usually after people run through those or do a couple of them, they're like, you know what? I have an idea for something that I get asked all the time, or something that, they might want to promote, whether or not, say that they're somebody who does a lot of VA loans and they're like, hey, I want to focus specifically on this and on this specific topic for, a VA loan. They'll come in and they can either write their own, or I can help them write scripts, and we go in and we can do I mean, pretty much everything. We've got some wild ideas in the past. Last year we had somebody who had an idea of doing a Forrest Gump parody, so we went and did that. And so I mean, it's anything and everything. And I'm always of the opinion that the more entertaining, the more value you're bringing to your customers. Because again, you can make a video about a VA loan, and it can be as informational as possible, and that has its place.
Sure.
But there's plenty of times where it's so much more beneficial to make somebody laugh, and then they're like, oh, well then now I really want to know what this is.
It depends on the outlet.
Yes,
right?
certainly. You know, for something like a website, the traditional, here's the term, makes sense. But if you're going more social media, more personal, then I would definitely go the opposite route there.
100%, yeah. So you mentioned that outside the box idea, because I think traditionally you think to yourselves, all right, a mortgage videographer, it's going to be buy versus rent and all these terminology, and this is what you should do through the process, and I would argue like every loan officer in the industry should have process videos, videos that fire out, whether it's on automation or you're firing them out yourself, that say, congratulations, you're under contract, blah, 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 blah. Or here's what you're going to expect next. Or congratulations, we're clear to close. Your appraisal's in. Here's what you're going to expect. Congratulations, you've closed, whatever, right? Do you do a lot of that? What would you say is the percentage of loan officers with this company that have those?
Percentage, that's tough. I'm not 100% sure there, but I can tell you that it is the most popular videos that we do.
Yeah.
When people, especially when people don't know what they want and they're like, hey, what should I get? It's the first thing I recommend because it's so easy too. And after we shoot them, obviously they don't have to do anything besides show up, read on camera from a teleprompter and get these nice polished videos. And then we can take them and put them in a program that we use called BombBomb, which can be sent out automatically during these things through emails, and it populates in their email, and it's just the easiest thing in the world. And it requires almost nothing besides showing up one day from the loan officer, and it means so much to their clients who are receiving these things. They're like, oh, they really care. Like, this is him or her in my inbox. It's not just an email that's like, blah, blah, blah. It's you personally. They are getting FaceTime with you even when they aren't in real life.
I would agree. And I tell people that all the time. Like, at the very least, those videos are a mandatory bullet that has to be in your gun. And it's less scary because it's not social media driven. It's one-to-one. And you even mentioned it, even shooting of the videos, you've probably got them all pretty much pre-scripted.
Oh yeah.
With some slight tweaks to personalize them.
Of course.
But you're literally reading it on a screen. Like, it's super easy.
It's the easiest. It's one of my favorite things about being a videographer is having somebody come in for the first time. They're scared shitless. They're like, oh, I don't know what to do. I'm like, here's the deal. My job is to make you look good. I don't care how long this takes. I will make you feel comfortable. We'll rock and roll. And then somebody goes and they read the first one, and they're a little nervous. And then they read the second one, and they're less nervous. And then they do the third one, and they're like, oh, this is the easiest thing I've ever done in my life. Why was I scared of this? And I'm like, I'm telling you, it's not that scary. I wasn't lying to you when I told you to come in here and just get yourself in here. If you don't like it on the first shoot, come back again. We'll reshoot it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I love that. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because if you're watching this and you've not done this, hello,
come see me.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely do it. To me, it's just an absolutely mandatory thing. So let's now move past that. What would you say is the next layer or level? So somebody's like, all right, I'll do those. Okay, that wasn't so bad. And they don't know what to do. What should I do next?
So I would always say, specifically in between all of these, more professional ones, the big thing that a lot of people don't utilize, and it's something that I can help them with, but it's a lot of times easier to do on your own, is to get out there and get yourself out there and shoot your own content. And when I say something like that, I mean whether or not you're at your house, you pull out your phone and you take a video of something that happened in your day. You're like, oh, we had this, whether it is about mortgages or not, you could be like, oh, I had this loan come in today and we did all these things and this went wrong, but we got it fixed and I'm just excited about this, and then blah, blah, blah. Or it can be like,
now are you're suggesting they do that raw and post, or raw and send it to you for some editing?
Both.
Either way.
Either or. The thing that's key is to do it. It matters less. But I am a fan of when videos specifically about like personal things. So like say you're like, oh, I'm really, proud of my son. He was, in the school play, blah blah blah. A video like that, I'm a big fan of those being unpolished because it's real. It's like you don't need that to be polished. It's just it's a very, very like a personal touch or note on a video. So for those, I would actually just recommend putting them up raw, going live, or just shooting it, and very minimal editing, cutting off the beginning or end.
Sure.
For somebody on their own. But if you do something and you're like, hey, I do want a little more production value on this, send it to me. It's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
I've had tons and tons of people do that. Specifically the people who aren't located in St. Louis, because I'm here at our HQ, and I've got people all over the United States. And so there's plenty of people who are like, hey, I'm interested in doing videos. And what I'll do is I'll go in with them. We'll have a quick meeting. I'll tell them, how to set everything up so we get the best quality. They'll shoot it, send it to me, and then I'll send them back a polished video. And as long as you have this in your pocket, you're fine. As long as you got a phone, trust me, the cameras in these things are good enough to be professional.
That's coming from a videographer.
That's coming from the videographer, and it's the one thing I've always loved that you've always talked about is like, just shoot.
Yeah.
Just get out there and shoot, and I could not agree more.
Done is better than perfect.
Done is better than perfect.
But the truth is, from a technical perspective, every videographer I know now all says the same thing. Like, your phone arguably is just as good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
really insane, honestly.
All right, so what's the craziest video you've ever done? Is it the movie one? What did you say it was?
That was probably
Forrest Gump?
Yeah, Forrest Gump was probably one of the more outlandish ones we did for specifically for loan officers. But
tell us about that.
So actually, I was just kind of an innocent bystander on it. Our other videographer did it at the time. He had this lady reach out, and she was like, "Hey, I've got this idea." And I wish I could remember like the exact script and how it went, but it's essentially like life is like a box of chocolates was the whole gist of it. And the lady had her and her brother come in, and they were dressed in like the Forrest Gump blue shirt, actually something real similar to this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
you had the white suit on.
Yeah, right. So they had the whole thing come in, and they just based on an idea, and we got it written and rocked with that. But so that in terms of just like a loan officer video.
What else comes to mind?
Well, here at USA Mortgage, we tend to care about our culture a little bit, and we like to make funny videos for our yearly kickoff or various other things. So my personal favorite video that I've ever shot, and it happened on accident, was one day I'm walking in the front door here at headquarters, and it's about 8:45 in the morning. And something hits me directly in the face and knocks the glasses off of my face, and I am blind. So I am like searching on the ground. I'm like, what was that? Get them up, and I realize I had been attacked by a goose.
Oh shit!
So we had these nesting geese.
You didn't even see them coming.
Didn't even see. I had no idea.
Oh, man.
Just get right in the morning. So I get attacked by this goose, and I get myself together, and I think that's pretty funny. And we just got ourselves a Nest camera. And I was like, you know what? It's going to get a lot of people during the day. So I set that thing out there, and just all day long, these geese were attacking people. And I edited it together one year, probably 2 years ago, just the first one, the accidental one, sent it out, and I've never received better feedback on a video. And I can't say that I'm not upset about that, because I spent a lot of time conceptualizing videos, only for one bird to come up with a funnier idea than I ever have.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we had that one, and then it happened again last year, but last year I was ready. I had that camera up and ready, and then, well, every May it happens, so we're coming up.
Okay, yeah. And then, it's funny you say that, because that never fails. Like the video that you put out to social and you put all the time and effort into, and you're like, this is going to go viral. Never does.
No.
And then the video you put like 4 seconds into. Pops.
It just goes to show.
You gotta be kidding me.
You never know, and that is why you just gotta, as we said,
turn on the camera.
Turn that camera on. You never know what you're gonna get.
So, talking about these things, the thing about the mortgage industry is it's heavily regulated. I'd argue one of the worst, most regulated industries on the planet, and you can't get away with hardly anything. And there's this really nasty word that starts with a C, ends with an E. I don't even want to say it. They're my least favorite friend. I know how to stay out of their office, but it's got to be difficult for you. And so that was just the challenging part, because you know enough about me, and I'm way off. If there's a box, you can't see me anywhere near it. I'm so far away from it. You have to stay inside of those four walls.
Yes.
And so...
But I like to stay pressed against them as hard as I can. That's where you can find me.
That's got to be challenging.
It's extremely challenging because there's a lot of times people have like, fun ideas about things and, the way that they want to phrase something in a script. It's like, oh, this would be funny to say it this way. And then we send the script off to get approved and they're like, you have to change that. Just like, we can't legally be saying that. And it's like, well, that stings. But so basically I spend a lot of time coming up with ways to, like, again, stay in that box, but be right against that wall and just pushing the limit as hard as I can until I get pushed back. When I get pushed back, I accept it, and gotta make the changes. But I'm always there.
What is an example of maybe something that you could say that gets turned away?
Loan officer. It's the number one thing that gets us.
You can't say that word.
Can't say loan officer. Gotta say mortgage loan originator because there's a couple states that for some reason that word is a no-no.
So probably California is one of them.
Yeah. Well, they like to cause troubles. They got one of the longest disclosures you'll see on my videos. Couple extra sentences you got to throw in there for Cali.
So that's something I hadn't even thought about. What else? What other words can you not say?
Oh, so it's that.
Can't talk about interest rates typically.
Rates are pretty tough. Rates are the big one that anytime somebody's like, I want to do a video on rates, I'm like, we're gonna have some trouble because either we need to shoot it today and release it today,
ask for forgiveness,
or it's not gonna be. We're not gonna be able to use it because the rates are gonna be old, and the rates get real complicated. Specific terms too. There's just a lot of little things. Sometimes they'll get you on saying the word less rather than fewer, which actually makes sense. So just small little things that they'll get caught in, but as you go on, and I've been doing this, like I said, like 4.5 years, so I know at this point, like I could read a script that somebody sends to me, and I'm like, okay, that is going to be a problem, so we'll have to fix that, but they're usually, for the most part, don't cause me too much trouble.
What about, so we've only mentioned like internal use of this. What about with agents, real estate agents?
Yeah, so it had to have been a year and a half after I started, I had been getting begged by LOs to do agent videos. And at the time we were only offering loan officer videos. And then we started this agent video program. So essentially very similar to what I did when I first started with the loan officer videos. Made a whole big batch of videos that are available, created a menu of sorts, and basically we sent it to our LOs to send out to their agents, and we're like, hey, we can do all of these things. Bring them to us. Let's do this. Nice. So we've had, the agents are the ones who come up with the crazier videos than the LOs.
So they're less regulated.
Yeah. So we go and we do all sorts of crazy things. Open house listings, walkthroughs, videos that are just like, hey, you might not know me because some reason or another, and so they'll do an about me video or just add on. Like there's so many videos that we've done through agents, and then we started that, and it went on, and it was kind of dying down, and then we revamped it, and then once we revamped it, we really pushed heavily on traveling. So we would go to various cities. We went to Frankfort, Kentucky, and Pittsburgh, and Houston, and Dayton, and everywhere. We were traveling all over the country. Because all these LOs that we have in all these cities were like, hey, well, all these St. Louis people can get these videos, but we don't. And we're like, well, come. We'll bring a whole damn studio with us. And so that's fun to do, to get through TSA with all that equipment. But yeah, we did a lot of traveling. That has tailored off a little bit since, and that's just solely because, the industry's down at the moment. But I assume that will be picking up as soon as things get a little bit more stable. I'm sure we'll be getting lots of phone calls because we were going once a month.
It's gonna get worse, or is that better? And I can tell you that because my phone is ringing consistently, and the words that are coming out of people's mouth is, "I know I got to do this." And you and I have been preaching it for 6, 7, 8 years.
Oh yes.
But it's like now all of a sudden I got to do this. I'm like, no shit. Like, yes, you do. So I have a feeling it's gonna really ramp up. what's maybe the top 2 or 3 examples that if an agent was watching this or no, share this with their agents, what could they do? Like besides listings, open houses, are there any other ideas that you kind of have pre-set up for them that's very easy to show up and shoot?
Yeah, and so like I said, there's probably like the menu, I want to say probably has 20, 30 things. Like,
what's the most popular?
So they're probably the seasonal tips. So it's like, hey, if you're selling your home in the winter, here's what you do. And then, obviously for each season it goes on. But that's very popular. And part of the reason that one's popular is because it doesn't require the agents to be on camera. You can be on camera if you choose to, if you want to do a little intro and outro to it. But aside from that, it's footage that's already shot. It's graphics that are already put together. And so a lot of them love it because they're like, okay, I know I need to do video, but I'm still scared. And this is a good way to get me in there. Yeah. And a lot of times they'll start with that just 10-second intro, 5-second outro. So they're on camera. So they're like, okay, I can get a feel for this. So that is really popular. And again, it's also obviously quite popular for those who are not directly here at our headquarters.
What's your take on that? Because I'll tell you, my take is that if you're going to do video and not be on it, you're damn near wasting your time. That's my very abrasive response.
I totally understand where you're coming from, but when you're coming from no video, any video is good video.
Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's where I guess it comes back to, okay, then do the intro and outro at least.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's what I always push people to be on camera. That's like my big thing is convincing people that video isn't scary
sure.
and that I'm not scary. But I don't think I've ever really scared anyone in my entire life.
Well, when you're carrying a camera, you're probably arguably scarier to most people than a snake or a
That's
spider.
true. That's true. I've had plenty of people run from me. You've seen it. You've seen it happen in real time.
Oh yeah. So, what's next? What do you envision? And I know it's hard to probably conceptualize or even think about it right now because of where the industry is. But assuming, let's just say we can predict that in 6 months we're going to have a boom. What do you foreshadow the future of this department looking like?
So I have been pushing for this, and I was doing a very heavy push before obviously everything dropped off. Is I want a team of me's. So I want one guy solely focusing on agent videos, one guy solely focused on like very specific loan officer or very specific agent videos. So one guy who can kind of do it all, but one who's like basically agent outreach for like
niche.
Yeah. So somebody who's like he's not waiting for the agents to come to him. He's going, or he or she is going to them and saying, hey, I can do this for you. Here's why you should do it. Come on in here. And I think, and again, we started to do that prior, and it was working, and it was popular. And sometimes you just need to push people just this much, and then they're like, oh, okay, yeah. I'm in. Actually, I have a good buddy of mine who I saw right around, it had to have been October. And he is an agent, and he is redoing his bar in his basement. And he's been hanging out there, taking videos every other day, just doing minor updates. And I was like, dude, you should come to me. I'm gonna edit this together for you. You're gonna love it. And it took a little bit of convincing, but sure as can be.
Nice.
I'm doing that video for him as we speak. So I want to push a lot more stuff like that because outside of me just working here, everyone knows a ton of agents. Everyone does. So I want to reach out to people that I know, or anyone who has any connections of any sorts, and get them in here, show them what it's about. So, and it's not only even just for like our own sake of being like, oh, USA Mortgage gets the connection with them, but it's like when I can see somebody, and I've seen this in the past, somebody start with me, and then I look out 6 months later, and they need me, but they don't need me as much as they used to need me. I love that, and that's amazing to see, and it's important for our business. It's important for their business. So
all of the above. Yeah, I love that. So as a videographer, one might just assume that when you go home at night, you shoot videos.
I do.
I didn't expect that answer.
No, I do. I do other things too. I'm actually on a thing right now. I started in November. I'll have to get it right after this. I've been shooting a single video for every single day of the year, whatever activity I may be doing that day. So,
like a vlog.
Yeah, but like very, very loose, very whatever I seem to be doing that day is what I'm gonna do. So some days it's like me like walking into my house, nothing exciting at all. Then some days it's me down at the armory, down down having fun, having drinks with people. So it just depends on the day. But yeah, so I started that and I love that. But yes,
What do you do with it?
So the whole idea behind it was I started it just a few days before Thanksgiving, and my thought was like, dude, I've got so many cool people and things that I'm able to do. So I decided, I was like, dude, this is gonna be 365 days of thanks, right? Is the idea behind it. So that's it. So it's just showcasing all my friends, family, all the fun things I get to do, and just
Where's it gonna go?
I don't know. That's a good question.
So right now it's on a camera.
It's sitting on my phone. Just do it. It's right here on my phone. I've edited a little bit of it together, but yeah, I mean, I'll probably drop it on Facebook, YouTube, whatever. I don't have any big aspirations.
One long form or
one long form. I just put together as of 3 days ago. Everything prior to that is put together, and it's like 14 minutes already, because each video is probably like 5 seconds.
Sure.
So we're talking, I did the math, it's going to be about 58 minutes by the end of the year.
Oh, shit.
So I'm going to have a full documentary of my
It'd
life.
be interesting to actually go through and post each one every day with your following, knowing that there's going to be one big cumulative.
I'm thinking that that's what I'm going to do towards the end. So like the last month, I'm going to be like, hey,
Sure.
I'm going to...
Yeah, it's a teaser.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it. Always thinking about it.
Well, so, all right. I didn't expect that answer. I expected, it's like the house cleaner who has a really messy house. The videographer doesn't actually shoot videos. Or the social media manager who doesn't actually post because
Yes.
he's tired of
Yeah,
posting.
of course.
What else do you do? What else does Doug do in his free time?
I do lots of things. I got a lot of hobbies. So I play a lot of disc golf.
Really?
Yes, so I've been doing that for a couple years, and then because I love it so much, I got into actual golf.
Oh, cool.
So I play a lot of actual golf. I am a gigantic trivia guy. There's nothing I enjoy more. Every single Tuesday for the past 8 years, you can find me at a bar in South City called The Mac. And so tonight I will be there because it is a Tuesday after all.
Yeah.
So I do that. I love hanging out with my friends. In any way, shape, or form, hanging out with somebody, I'm in. I'm a very social guy. So if somebody's like, "Hey, you want to go do this?" I'm like, I'm in.
So this persona is not just for the camera.
No, this is who I
This is
am.
the real guy.
Trust me, it's hard to deal with. I have to live with me.
Speaking of, is there a significant other?
No. Speaking of.
All right, I guess I got to put some money behind it. Oh, that's awesome. So no family or no.
Well, I have a giant family, just no.
No spouse, no kids.
No kids.
How big's the family?
I'm the youngest of 8 children.
Holy shit.
So yeah, my parents stopped right at perfection.
Well played.
Yeah, you like that?
Well played.
I've only been saying that for 20 years.
How many siblings? So 7 siblings,
Mhm.
girls, boys.
So I've got 3 brothers, 4 sisters. So it's 4 and 4.
Okay.
First,
What's the age difference?
my oldest sister is 17 years older than me,
Wow. Okay.
and it's like 1 year, 2 year, 1 year. It's
Yeah.
basically like that. But yeah, and then I got at this point I don't know the number, 27, 28 nieces and nephews,
Jeez.
something along those
Yeah.
lines.
Yeah.
My oldest niece actually is about to get married
Oh damn.
in December, and I'm her maid of honor.
How'd that happen?
She's like, I couldn't think of anybody I like more than you. She's like, I know. She's like, obviously you're a dude, but we're doing it. And I was like, yep, I'm in.
I mean, it's a new year. It's a new age we live in.
Yeah,
That
right.
doesn't Are you going to wear a dress?
I asked if I could. I was denied the request.
Oh wow. That's got to be on social media.
Oh yeah, we'll do something.
You can't be the first. That can't be the first for this to happen.
No. I've actually talked to somebody who was before, but I'll be the
A
best.
dude was a maid of honor, or a female was a best man.
Female best man is what I've seen in the
Which
past.
wouldn't be a best man.
Yeah.
Best woman, I guess. Good stuff, dude. So, what's your last question? Since we talked about it, what is your favorite social platform?
That's a good question. Actually, It's a weird one, but I'm a big Reddit guy. Love Reddit, so it's not necessarily too heavy on video. It's there, but it's not too heavy.
It's kind of like Twitter.
Yeah. And then Twitter's one, hilariously, the dude who invents Twitter went to the high school I went to.
Yeah, he's a St. Louisan.
Yeah. And but I one day got a new phone and then forgot to download Twitter, and then so I'm off Twitter,
which is now X.
Yes, X.
So
forgive me.
Yeah, Reddit's underrated.
Reddit I use quite a bit. I used to not use it at all. I use Instagram quite a bit, but that's Reels, so I'm not quite hip enough to be on TikTok. But
come on.
Reels is the same thing.
It is. Interesting. So Reddit. So for those that have never heard of Reddit, how would you describe Reddit?
Oh God. It's a place. Basically, you just there's various different subreddits, or they're called, and it's basically just any topic you can think of. So say you're into video, or say you're into golf. There'll be one subreddit on that, and people will post all various things about that. You can look into them, whether it's video, whether it's a question. It's just a big, it's kind of like a weird encyclopedia of internet people, for lack of a better word. But
I find it hilarious. I'll stumble upon something and like the comments are just
that's why I love it.
People are like insanely creative on Reddit somehow.
I feel like it makes me more creative seeing what other people do.
I would agree.
The thing that I love about it is it keeps me on top of things that I should care about when I'm not trying to care about it, if that makes any sense. So like specifically the video stuff, I'm subbed to those things, so I will see them even when I don't necessarily want to, but because of that it makes me better at my job, so that's why I do that. Interesting.
We'll see how many people A, jump on Reddit, and B, we got a single guy sitting over here. So I'm gonna leave that sit right there. See what happens.
Let's see what happens.
Thanks, brother.
Appreciate you.